All right. Shalom, 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 y'all. I'm Michael Israel. You watching Spiritual Combat. Um, I had meant to. I was trying to go live earlier, but we had. I was busy. Yeah, you can put them at the front. Yeah, but I had tried to go live earlier, but I was busy. I had like an appointment and some work I had to do. But got that knocked out. So now I am here. And as you can tell by the title of the show, it is War on the Saints. And basically, um, you know, I want to point some things out because I see people waiting for a war when they don't realize they're fully under attack from a lot of different angles. Okay, so that's what we're going to be hitting on. It's just the many different angles that we are fully under attack from this Greco-Roman beast system, and how it's been going on. It's just slowly ramped up more and more intense. So one way that we are under attack and there's a war being waged is um, one of the things you always hear me talking about is the food, which we'll get into that later. But it's one of the main ways is they're hitting us with food. Another area is that the saints are specifically under attack is just keeping us split and divided. You know what I'm saying? That's this is one of the ways we're under attack that people are not very aware of, and it's one of the things that I've been that I push on here. That I try to be an example of for those who followed me for any length of time and seen how kind of how I've moved from being kind of more of a media person and all that to how just trying to document living this thing out. And that's kind of where we're going to park things at, is right there where what this society does is keep you divided and reliant on them. And in doing that, they can slowly wage war against you and destroy you. You know what I'm saying? So when you buy into this culture's whole, my house thing, and you get your house, you get your car, you get your job, blah, 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 and you're basically off to yourself. It's literally the accepted practice to divide a family, split the family up, so that nobody combines their resources or anything like that. And by doing that, their government and by kind of brainwashing you into thinking that, oh yeah, this governmental system is part of my family. A lot of the stuff that if you were truly a family in the most serious sense of the word, you wouldn't be going to the government for. So the government wants to be your family, your father, your whatever. You know what I'm saying? So another example of that is, hey, we rely on them to educate our children, and it's like it's so crazy when you really think about it. Why would you go to your enemy to educate your children. You know, like when you really come out of it, that thinking, you're like, what the heck? But that's part of how they wage war against us. Because what school? Is school where you go to learn math and all that stuff like that? Is that the whole guise of it? No, you see children, you know, every time you turn around, you see some child graduating super duper early. Like, hey, uh, 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 like I taught my daughter multiplication in about, I think it was less than 2 weeks, you know. But then when she finally made it to multiplication in school, she had to learn it the Common Core way, which is retarded, and so she had to learn it all over again. It's stupid. I remember every time I would drop my children off at school, something in me just cringed. It was like, man, this thing, like, I hate this. Like I'm doing something wrong. Like, why are they spending more time with my children? You know. And it wasn't until I got the straight way till, you know, the answer was made obvious, you know. It justified that feeling I had in my spirit. But yeah, so anyway, you're sending your children to school not to learn education, but to learn the heathen ways, to learn the satanic ways of sin, for them to be around wicked ass children, for them to learn these wicked ass holidays, for them to learn wickedness, sinfulness, the sinful way to dress, the sinful way to be, the sinful mindset of this wicked ass culture. And for them not to be around parents who truly care about them. I mean, so that is another way that they are waging war against the saints, you know, to be sinners, you know. Another thing that came out of that school system, you know, prior to them going to school, the school introduced my children to candy. Okay? The school introduced my children to candy and the sweets and these wicked ass holidays and made them such a big deal. And I used to say, I was like, damn, I was like, yo, it's like this school, like they couldn't, I had to do their homework, me and Koya, we had to help them with their homework on math. And I was like, but dude, you let one of them holidays come around, man, they coming home with candy and all this shit, and they know exactly what that daggone holiday is. But I got to spend all my time showing them the math. It was just so backwards, and I spent so much time deprogramming them, telling them, hey, if a girl say stuff like that, stay away from their ass. Like, I spent more time doing that than, I'm like, damn, the school's supposed to be doing all this. But, hold on one second. I'm out here yelling in Spanish about something. Man, what the hell is going on? As soon as I do a daggone video, somebody nailing something or something, picking up something. Anyway, but yeah, I spent so much time deprogramming them, and then saying don't eat this and poison them with that crazy ass food. You know, the stuff they're feeding them was horrible. You know. Anything, you know, well, this is what they like. Yeah, that's all you giving them, you know. So it's like, so deep in my spirit, I was like, I know I'm doing something bad. Something ain't right, you know. And but going back to the food, you know, is it, you know, every time you turn around, they're telling you something about this food that ain't good, you know. Look, I ain't getting that they poisonous inoculation that they got, that they're pushing, but I ain't getting the rest of their stuff. That's once again war on the saints. The medical establishment is war on the saints. one of the things I'm going to be teaching on that I'm really getting in hard is dental health and oral care from an herbal, holistic perspective, because that's another place they're waging war on it, war on the saints. One of the things I'm learning, like even with this, what I'm drinking a smoothie, and it tastes good, and it's sweet, but it's fruit sweet. You know, we went into that a little bit. But after, what you have to do, after you consume stuff like that, after you consume sugary stuff, after you eat this stuff, if you want to reverse cavities, you have to alkalinize your mouth. You can't let your mouth sit there and be acidic. If you don't have anything on hand, you can just get water and rinse your mouth out real good. But what you need to do is alkalinize it. Now, if you don't have I don't have the herbal protocol put all the way together yet, but I'll be working on it, because I'm also be working on a toothpaste also. But right now, I use a tooth powder, but I have to perfect that, because with a tooth powder, it can be abrasive, so you can, I don't think it's the best route. I'm still doing research, but what you can do is after you eat stuff that's sugary and stuff like that, you can get a little bit of baking soda and put it in water and gargle it and use it as a mouth rinse and rinse your mouth out and realkalinize your mouth so your mouth isn't acidic. Because when your mouth is acidic, all the other problems come along. You know, if you want to strengthen your mouth and your teeth and everything like that, you have to realkalinize your mouth. And right now, a little bit of baking soda is the best route, and gargle it. You don't want to brush your teeth with baking soda all the time, because the grit and abrasiveness will mess your teeth up. Anyway, getting back on topic, more war on the saints. They give your children all this candy, get them hooked on sugar. Y'all, if y'all haven't seen Elder Donnie's brother message, it should be on the Straightway Tech Team YouTube page, man, that he just did it last week, man. He is on point. I mean, he was coming straight down the middle with book about food and diet and that mindset and food addictions that are there everywhere. I mean, food is like the biggest drug in the whole world cooked on. And the Most High said in the end days, people will be overcome by surfeiting, by overeating. That is another front of the attack of the war that's been being waged on saints. It's food, man. Bad food, okay? And what I have here, now for some reason, like I tried to load this, like the way I put this thing up, it didn't come up right. So, but I'm gonna bring this video up. I think it's from the guy, the Health Ranger. And I'm gonna put this video up here. And it's gonna break down some stuff, and then we're gonna take this war on the saints to even deeper levels. Okay? But let me bring this video up. Now, is this gonna be an overlay? For some reason, it didn't come on as a just a full screen video. But let me see if I can do this. Hold on. All right, let me try this. But yeah, it's gonna come up as an overlay, but the main thing is the content. So check this out, y'all. All right, and I'm gonna listen into.
I am the lab science director. I know a thing or two about food science. Now, what they have invented, when I say they, I'm talking about the genetic engineers, not only have they found a way to put these genetically engineered traits into food crops, they've now found a way to cause food crops to grow RNA fragments that can be specifically targeted like bioweapons to interfere with the physiological processes of targeted species that might eat the food. Now, this technology is called RNA interference technology. It's relatively new compared to GMOs, relatively new. it's being touted now as a technology to eliminate the use of pesticides, because what they're saying is they can cause a corn crop to grow RNA fragments that will kill the insects that eat the corn without having to use pesticides like toxic chemicals that overload the insect nervous system and kill it from a nervous system breakdown and so on. This RNA interference technology is a pesticide technology, but it doesn't rely on pesticide chemicals. It relies on RNA fragments in the food. Now, what's disturbing about this is that this technology can be fine-tuned to target a specific race of humans who eat the food. I want you to follow me very carefully on this, because most people have never heard of this before. They've never heard of this technology. They don't know it can be targeted by race. Food crops can be engineered right now based on existing technology to cause infertility in black people alone. That technology is a reality. It's widely covered out there in the mainstream media, in the science media. RNA interference technology is widely covered. The government is at war with you. If you're black and you're watching this, the government is at war with you, and they want you exterminated, and they control the science funding, which means there will never be money for any genetic science of the food supply to uncover this truth. If it were there, it would be covered up like everything else has been covered up this entire time. Just like the Tuskegee experiments covered things up in the 1930s. Nothing has changed, except the technology is more advanced. The covert technology is more covert. The number of vectors through which they can kill you and cause you to have no children, cause you to have spontaneous abortions, the number of vectors is increasing. You are being targeted. And like I said earlier, to some extent we're all being targeted. But black people are being targeted more than anyone else.
All right. So we see this in the food. I've hold on one sec. Okay. Hey, y'all, let me know how the audio is, y'all, please, if you can. Let me know how the audio is. But the warfare is food. The war, like the weapons of warfare are the music. The weapons of warfare are the school system, the public school system. The weapons of warfare are the television and the media. You know what I'm saying? These are the weapons that are actively shooting at you. Okay? And a lot of people read the Bible from a Greco-Roman religio standpoint, which is another weapon in the warfare, is so-called religion, the Greco-Roman religiosity mindset, that this whole thing is about the feeling good and getting emotional. And there's not action steps involved with it. You know what I'm saying? No, there are action steps that need to be taken in this walk. It ain't about just doing a Shabbat gathering like you go into church for a feel-good social event and then heading back home. No. They are taking you, they are shooting at you. And nobody, most people ain't even trying to, they're totally oblivious to it. This is how these snakes fight. Like, I've worked on military equipment, elite military equipment, man. And look, the whole thing they be trying to go after is hit you when you don't even see it coming. Like, that's their whole thing. They don't, the whole stand in front of you, we stand in front of each other, load our guns and shoot, and then you stand there while I'm loading my gun and y'all pick up y'all gun and y'all shoot like they used to fight back in the day. Man, hell no, they don't want that. They want to just take you out as easy as possible. If you don't see it coming and you don't know you're being attacked, even better, because then they can kill more of you. The media is one of the most powerful weapons. So that is the way they influence our women to commit genocide and abort their babies, which is the number one, well, I can't say it's the number one killer. It's probably the number two killer is going to be the abortion. Okay. What is it, like some insane number a day, almost like 1 million. It's crazy. And nobody talking about it. All right, hold on. Okay. So, you know, you said it after you speak. Okay, let me fix that real quick.
There. Let me know if that audio is better, y'all. So, yeah, these are weapons. Okay. We have to be aware of that. Y'all let me know how the audio is real quick, then I'll press on. Okay, awesome. All right. So we have to see where the weapons are. Some of the weapons, I probably missed some, but you got to be aware of where you're being attacked so you can begin defending yourself. Moving forward, how do you defend yourself against these weapons? Well, that goes back to what I've been saying. You got to come together. With like-minded brothers and sisters. Is the answer to defending yourself against these weapons and really attacking back is right there in y'all's word. Is right there. You know, gather yourselves together. You know, it said, "O nation not desire." You know what I'm saying? It said the beast went after. You know, was wrought with the sea. You know, I'm not quoting it perfectly, but you understand what I'm saying. It's all this is in the book. But religion, which is one of their most powerful weapons, has done so much to hyper spiritualize the book and to eliminate the practical aspects of it. To make you just sit there and go, well, what we supposed to do is just stand here and say, "Oh, Jesus," and say that all day and not do anything else. And he's gonna eventually come and help us, you know. When in the meantime, you being shot at, you know, and the book's telling you duck and cover, you know. You know. So we have to look at the Bible from a Hebraic perspective and not from a Greco-Roman perspective. When you look at it from the Hebraic perspective, it's concrete, it's straightforward. Like I said, let's say it again. When we talk about what they did in the book of Acts, they came together, had all things in common. When you look at the model that is set in place, the model that Straightway is following according to what the word says, how we adhere to the word and how you see it is like totally opposite of what goes on in this nation. Let's talk about another weapon while I'm on weapons that they're using to wage war on the saints. Women. Okay. Now it goes back to the media, how the media and its influence on women and using women to attack and suppress the leaders, the men, so that nothing can happen. You know what I'm saying? That's another powerful weapon. that is prevalent in the so-called Hebrew Israelite community. Women ruling over men. You know what I'm saying? You can't come together and do anything when, you know, the women are in there tearing it apart. That if the women aren't in biblical order, nothing can be put together. It's just gonna come to shambles. If the men are not masculine and they have effeminate ways about them and effeminate spirits on them, and when I say effeminate, I'm not just talking about talking like a sugar tank. I'm talking about the feminine ways in the way they deal with each other. They're not dealing with each other like men. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna come to nothing. It ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna happen. So diligently adhering to the scriptures is you're gonna wage war against these people who have declared war upon you, and you're gonna fight it. And what does that look like? Well, it looks like what you've been seeing. It looks like what you've been seeing here in Straightway, Florida. It looks like what you see when you look at a Straightway, Georgia. It looks like what you see if you follow Pastor Dow and you go back and years and years and years, and you look at the model he set forth. That's what it looks like. Come out of her, my people. Now, it's more and more evident. Hold on. I'm doing a live. It's more and more evident when you when you look at what we're doing and the direction we're moving versus what's coming out and the information coming out. You know what I'm saying? You know, when you look at the video I just showed on here, doesn't it make more sense to get on some land and grow your own food now? You know, if they're going in this direction, changing the RNA in your food, doesn't it make more sense? When you look at these schools and the stuff, what they're turning out, it's like the schools are more focused on, you know, making you what's a good word I could use, making you a sugar tank, you know what I'm saying, then making you into a real man or making you into a righteous feminine woman, you know. So they more obsessed with turning you into the opposite of that and into dividing you and destroying you. They're trying to give you all the poison and all the weapons. They're trying to get you hooked on them right away, on the can, on their beat system holidays, on their immoral societal behavior. You know what I'm saying? Or you name it. That they trying to get you hooked into that rather than, you know. So all this stuff is war waged against the saints. You know what I'm saying? So we got to be aware at all the wiles of Satan, you know, on that level. And I'm just talking about one aspect of it. I haven't even went into the spiritual aspect. But a lot of this stuff comes down to spiritual issues where you need deliverance. You know what I'm saying? You need to live around saints. You know, all like the way we're functioning now, the way we're operating down here in Straightway, Florida, and some of the stuff we're doing, even 2 years ago, when I was starting out, I think it was about 2 years ago when I was getting started in this, it didn't really make sense, you know, to a lot of people. Now it's beginning to really make sense. You know what I'm saying? The direction we're moving, you know, the sacrifices that are being made, you know. But you go out there in Hebrew-dom, out there in the so-called Hebrew Israelite community, and they're still talking. going over the same verses. These ministries, like the dude told me, he was telling me, hey, whatever that ministry he named, he was like, it's not light years. I wouldn't say it's light years behind, brother. They are light years behind. They don't get it. Man, you talk to these people, you talk to somebody about selling their house and moving in, 16 people, 15 people in a, in a 4-bed, 3-bath or whatever, man, folks look at you crazy. You know what I'm saying? They don't get it because they are very much Babylonianized. Okay. They are very much Babylonian. They ain't sharing nothing. They're selfish. They don't want to make no sacrifices. Their money is theirs, all that stuff, y'all. I'm telling you, these people, man, a lot of these folks are just talking. But as the war on the saints ramps up, I'm telling you, some people gonna wake up and some people gonna go all the way to sleep. You know what I'm saying? So, but this is the day, the time, the hour, man. It says, forsake not the assembling, as is the manner of some, as you see the day approaching. It said, don't forsake assembling. Not, oh, well, we assemble each Shabbat. We have a Shabbat. And then we go back to Babylon and babble. You know what I'm saying? That ain't what it's talking about. It's talking about coming together like a family. Like Sister Coy was she had read that verse, the fruits of the spirit, or this, that, the other, reading the fruits of the spirit. And people are so religified, they miss. So if you have those fruits of the spirit, what is that gonna look like? How is that gonna manifest in literal life, in your life? And that's how I see a lot of people don't have the fruit of the spirit because they're not selfless. They ain't loving their brothers, they love themselves. If you love your brothers, you love yourself. You live with them just like you live with your family. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, man. Somebody said I'm an individual. Like, hey, you and look, and the war, they've overrunning your position. If you're an individualite, they overrunning your position. You like, because you ain't by yourself. You might call yourself a what's the name we could call it? A Babylonianite, a Catholic Hebrew or American Hebrew. There you go. American Hebrew. Yeah. So I don't know, but you're relying on somebody. So you're fully relying on their beast system. It says, come out of her, my people. You know what I'm saying? Be separate, because like I said, man, it's just, this is what it looks like. Society. It's like first slowly, then it starts dropping off quick, and it feel like it's going straight down now. So yeah, y'all. So think that's, let me see what y'all saying in the comments. I'm gonna read through the comments. If y'all got any questions, comments, concerns, definitely get them in there. But I just wanted to hit on that because people are missing this stuff. And it's like, it's so basic. It's all through the book, and folks miss it. They're like, okay, we read the Bible and we meet up once a week. Okay. And that's what y'all wants from us. And that's what they do. They read their Bible and they meet up once a week. And this is why nothing happens. It's why people's families are still struggling. There's no legacy left, nothing. Because they're not really walking anything out righteous. They're like, oh, Jesus, he gonna come and save me. That's like that where the people that story that I've heard. I'm sure y'all have heard too, where they say, okay, the way the story goes is like it was flooding. It was raining, and it was beginning to flood, and a guy with a boat said, "Hey, I'll come and pick you up, or I'll rescue you, or whatever." So, or whatever. Some guy said, "Yeah, I'll come rescue you," and he's waiting for a guy to come for him in a boat. Well, a helicopter comes, like, "Hey, you know, we're here to rescue you." "Oh no, somebody's coming with a boat." "Okay." Flood waters get higher. "Hey man, we can get you out of here." "No, somebody's coming for me with the boat." When it gets even higher, "Hey, you need to get up here. You're gonna drown." "Oh, I'm gonna wait for this guy with the boat." That's how these so-called Hebrew Israelites out here are. They just studying the scripture in circles, and there's no footwork. There's none. There's no fruit to be shown in any way, shape, or form. There's no spiritual fruit. There's no literal fruit in any of the areas. You know what I'm saying? There's no change. They're just a black person that knows they're Hebrew, that still lives in the hood, or that's still very Babylonianized, whatever. You know what I'm saying? No lifestyle change, no culture to it. All right, so somebody said, "You see brothers and believers aiming themselves with guns for protection." You see brothers and believers aiming themselves with guns for protection, but how do you explain when Christ said those that live by the sword will die by the sword? Okay, Bass already went over this. To live by the sword, if I live by the sword, that means I make a living stabbing people, or I make a living shooting people with guns. Like I'm a hired surgeon. I'm a merc. You know what I'm saying? Hold on. That's living by the sword. Okay. I don't make a living by the sword. Okay. You wanna know how I make a living? I make a living working for Intellicom, you know, and working for you know, fixing airplanes. But living by, so once again, you got to understand the word. Now, this guy here, let me put his thing up there. So this person who wrote that, if he was asleep at night and somebody kicked his door in or something, or his wife was home alone and somebody kicked the door in and she was up in the room, what would she do? She would call the cops. And the cops have what? Guns. All I'm doing is eliminating the middleman. Once again, this is how messed up people's minds are, because they don't see how Babylonianized they are. You have to come out of her. What we're trying to do is we are our own protection. We don't call Officer Murtaugh over here to come kill everybody, including us. No, we defend ourselves. Christ said, "Sell your cloak and get a sword." Didn't he? Oh, once again, people don't understand the book. They got a Christian Catholic Hebrew mindset, and it's sad. All right, shalom, brother Emmanuel. Good to see you in there. Shalom, Natalie. Shalom, Steve-O. Shalom, Ardrell. Shalom, Dave. Good to see you in there. Shalom to you. Somebody said, "Very good info about alkalinizing your mouth. Thank you very much." Yep. Shalom, family. Okay, said I'm coming in good. All right. And Brother Chris posted a scripture in there. It says, Luke chapter 22, verse 36. Then said he unto them, "But now he that hath a purse, let him take it, and likewise his scrip. And he that hath no sword, let him sell his garment and buy one. Yo, y'all put a 100 in there if that's big old biblical facts up in there. Okay? Put a 100 up in there for me, y'all. Because, like I said, all right, I can hear. They say they can hear me. Okay, that's what I was asking. Okay, so he got another one. He says, Peter or one of the disciples tried to hurt one of the Roman soldiers and cut a piece of his ear, but Christ was not really in favor of retaliating. Yeah. So when that guy breaks into your house, just hug him. Just give him a hug, man. And when he's done, killing you, stealing all your stuff, just say Jesus love you. You know what I'm saying? And then when he punched your wife in the mouth while he's running out the house, just tell him you forgive him. Okay? All right, hold on. All right. So it says, Chris said, foolish and unlearned questions. That's what he posted in there. Don't entertain. All right, Mikhail Gabar, Chi-Town Gladiator. Shalom, Mak. Good to see you. Good to see you. All right, shalom to y'all. That's right. Y'all gotta watch the footwork, man. Hey, some of these folks is I think he's seriously asking that. He probably doesn't follow the ministry though, but you got to go back and read your book. Okay, we walking this thing out according to script. We not just going off our feelings and what we like. You know what I'm saying? All right. Shalom, Josh. Thank you for what you've been doing for years. Yep. My question isn't foolish. Get that right. He usually takes questions by the end of his video. Okay. Well, go read the scriptures and just use common sense. And if you look and you see how wicked these cops are, I'm sure there's good cops, but there's a lot of wicked ones. I wouldn't call them for nothing. The only reason I call them is to clean the body up after I get done protecting my home. You know what I'm saying? I can't tell you. I mean, the number of times people done called them for different issues. But why would you call another nation to come protect you when you're supposed to gather yourselves together and you the old nation not desire? You're supposed to function as a nation, not run to other nations for everything. This is, once again, what this whole video is about, is the war on the saints. And so-called law enforcement is another weapon for warfare on the saints. All right, the cops are the ones kicking the doors in right now, though. Yeah. Somebody said most don't worship in spirit and truth. Nope, they just worship in spirit. That's it. Get all spiritual and emotional. And then when it's time for the truth, for the footwork, for the rubber to meet the road, they go. All right. Bless you too, Tone. All right. Shalom, saints. Somebody say, keep telling the truth. All right. Grace and peace. All right. And everybody put their 100s up in there. Shalom, Sister V's. All right. Let me see. We moving down there. All right. Shalom, Brother Terrence. No, just turn the other cheek. Okay. I hope you're not serious about that. Okay, so listen. Once again, your biblical understanding is very Roman Catholic. Okay. There's a what you need to do is get a dictionary. And let me read what he said. He said, laughing out loud, I'm not gonna hug him. Jesus said, vengeance belongs to him. You need to get a dictionary and read the word defend, protect, and then read the word vengeance. Okay? Because, you know, as a head of your household, you are to protect your household. See, some of y'all in y'all mind, somebody walk up and grab your children or something, you ain't gonna do nothing. You're like, vengeance is not mine, and blah blah, and this, that, and the other, you know, and you never get mad. And getting angry is a sin when it's not a sin. It said, be angry and sin not. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, so once again, it's that Babylonian Christian Hebrew mindset there, Catholic Hebrew. I call it Catholic Hebrew. Somebody said, straight fact, that's why we train for that. Yep. It ain't vengeance when you get murked in the act. It's defense. You know? I mean, you're literally nullifying the point of being a man. And once again, that's that feminine, you know, suspect doctrine out there that oh, men can't get mad. Oh, talk in your gayfer voice. Don't drop below what's a high pitched singing voice? Soprano. You know, don't put no bass in your voice. Oh, bless you. Oh, shalom. Oh, praise Jesus. Man, people like that, I'll be like, ugh. Like, man, let me get away from them. Anyway, somebody said, Shalom, I have a hard time trying to find like-minded brothers. I'm honestly trying to come together so we can live off the land like our ancestors. But it just seems like everybody just playing. Y'all, this dude here, Nero, he's on. He sees it. He sees what I went through prior to coming to Straightway. I've been all over the Hebrew Israelite community. I done fellowship and met and talked and strategized with a lot of different Hebrew Israelite groups and organizations out there, only to find that everybody's only willing to go as far as basically Christianity. You know, they'll gather on the weekends, you know, but outside of that, they won't really, nobody really wants to do nothing, because at the end of the day, they love Babylon. Okay. It wasn't until I came in the Straightway, and then I found all the serious minded people that's ready to be about Yah's work. So you pretty much get where I'm going with this. What I recommend you do is call the dining hall. Call that number that be on the screen behind Pastor Dow, and what they'll do is link you up with an assembly near you, and then you go out there and, you know, fellowship with the saints, and you'll find a group that you get a good witness in your spirit with, and then you move forward. And that's what I did. That's why I've grown and developed and moved forward more in my walk in the past 2 years than I had my whole life. Mm-hmm. All right. So definitely good observation there, brother, though, because that's real. That's facts. People don't really want to do nothing. It's just a bunch of talking and teaching out there. All right, y'all say shalom to Sister Koya. Definitely check her herb page out, Household Herbs. All right. Bernard said he wasn't against retaliation. He stopped Peter from stopping Yah's will from being the, see, we just got the facts here, big old facts. All right. Okay. And what Koya did is she posted the number in here for you to call if you want fellowship with some serious minded brothers and sisters that you could build with. Wow. Smoothie's good. Y'all have to excuse me for my smoothie break. All right. All right, Brother Daniel said, stop entertaining them foolish and unlearned questions. I see today. Brother Daniel there. Shalom, Brother Daniel. All right. Lee said, Brother Daniel, there are many foolish questions. All right. All right. Pamela, I think you are in the right place with these questions, asking the right group of people. You just have to lurk around and listen more. This thing has a learning curve and levels to it. Big old facts. Yep. You gotta, yeah, you gotta, what you gotta do, y'all, the word says you will know them by their fruits. Like, look, it's so simple. Like that dude who came on here a couple weeks ago talking about that other ministry out there isn't light years behind us, behind Straightway. Okay. Whatever ministry he was naming. And come to find out, they are light years behind us. Hundreds, more than normal. Like the typical Hebrew group is light years behind, but they were even further behind. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, what you have to do with these assemblies and with your life is look at the bottom line fruit. Because even the fruits of the spirit are going to lead to other fruit being brought forth in your life. Look at the bottom line. Who's producing fruit and who is not? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, all you got to do is go back and follow my video, my journey through coming in the straight way, and watch how, okay, I got my wife off the job. I got my children out of school. I paid off all my debt. I moved in communally with a lot of brothers and sisters. We started a communal business. This business started taking off. You know, we employing saints with the business. You know what I'm saying? We're growing spiritually. We're getting more patient. We're being selfless. We're getting, you know what I'm saying? And just look at it. Like, I try to put it on display here in as much as I can. And then go look at your ministry or some of these other ministries that literally you could go back 2 years ago and they're teaching on the same stuff they were teaching 2 years ago. The ministry doing the exact same thing it was doing 2 years ago. It just grew bigger. It just got more people following it on YouTube, Facebook. But outside of that, nothing's going on in the people's life. Now, you might see stuff going on in that leader's life, but what about the flock that they're leading? You're going to just see wolves eating that thing up like a fast food store. Call it McSheeps instead of McDonald's, McSheeps. All right, let's see. Somebody said, I'm a give it a call, brother. Thank you so much. Look, this whole video that I did here has been worthwhile. All right. Nathan said, Mr. Palmer, you need to be calling that number ASAP and following through if you aren't already connected, and dive head first and don't get a breath until you get the fish you want. Yeah. Look, just look at the footwork, y'all. That's all you gotta do. You would know them by, like, you got your eye, just look and watch. Listen to what's being said and see if it lines up with what's being done. And like I said, you already got a witness here. Okay. So he said I did years ago. Okay. All right. So he's asking how his question was foolish. To if you're new to straightway, then it probably isn't foolish. But to us, it's foolish. But the way it's also the way you ask stuff. You got to ask stuff in a respectful way. When you come like the Bible says blah 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 blah, or you say, I have a question. I thought the Bible said boom 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 boom. You know what I'm saying? So, but hey, I answered your question, right? I answered it biblically, but I also answered it logically and practically. Okay, so your question did get answered. Because what does happen is we get a lot of trolls coming on here, getting in their feelings because Pastor Dow has a gun behind you. Ooh, like, oh, you just sinned according to Greco-Roman Catholic, law. You know what I'm saying? According to their law, but according to the book, you're protecting your family. You're protecting yourself. You have that right. So, yeah. But anyway, y'all, we are going on an hour, and that's about all I got. I got to eat here. I'm getting ready to eat. And then I got a little bit of running around doing. I got to organize my van and this garage. And so that's what's on the agenda for me. But let's see. Yeah, and Sister V said something very good, that if you're new, like you are, Troy, I see you still typing, but Troy, this is what I'm gonna recommend that you do. You should do what Sister V's just posted in there, because it's what I did. It's what I still do. She said, watch, listen, learn to apply and obey the Bible and those in authority. Follow the leaders as he follows Messiah. So just if you're new here and things don't sound right, I would just recommend you just watch and listen, at least for a little while. You know what I'm saying? It ain't nothing to get all, to be breakdancing in your feelings on. Just watch and listen, and trust me, the answers will come. There's been stuff since I came in a straight way. I just sat back a year, not saying nothing, just waiting, watching, and sure enough, it got answered. Or I saw the why behind it. So that's it. This thing ain't complicated, man. It is very much book oriented. And this is how you're going to come out of this war, or you're going to properly fight back in this war that's against the saints. And you're going to, by following y'all's work. So, but anyway, y'all, appreciate all y'all tuning in. I'm getting ready to eat real quick, and then I'm gonna get back after it. But yeah, y'all, you were watching Spiritual Combat. If you like this, definitely share it, especially if you're over there on Facebook. Share this, spread it around, get the word out. Hit the like, subscribe button, and all that other good stuff to keep things moving forward. And I'm Michael Israel. You're watching Spiritual Combat. Straightway, Florida. Shalom, shalom.